Okay, thanks for joining me for today's episode. I'm actually working from home because my sons are both sick actually. We've got Sam and Hamish at home. You can hear Sammy in the background with a bit of saxophone. My wife was keen for that to happen, and Hamish has been watching basketball and probably some anime. Haven't really checked in on him. He's on iPad duty, but best not to spread any viral germs through the schools. That will not be appreciated. But it leaves me at home, and as you can see from the title, do I love vacuuming? Well, look, if we take a little walk through here, I'm going to flip over my camera and you can see this little thingamajig here running around. Now, this is a D-Bot, I believe. We've got some clothes there that haven't been sorted yet, but the D-Bot runs around for about 3 hours. We got it about 2 days ago, and so far it's been pretty good. This is an exciting development in my life. I'm actually pretty stoked for it. Is it a total solution for cleaning our house? No, it's obviously not going to do everything, but what I'm interested in is that it does a small amount every day. That by chipping away at various bits and pieces that fall in areas of our house, that it's not an enormous mess. And what I notice is that over maybe 4, 5, 6 days, there will be a significant amount of debris that builds up, particularly in the high usage places. Number one, the kitchen, and number two, the dining room. And by having this robot thing run around, it actually means that I don't have to do that vacuuming. Secondly, what is very interesting is that it may well shift the feeling of the house. Like when it hasn't been done for a while and then I vacuum, there is a distinct improvement in the mood of the house, which is a really interesting phenomenon. Like, wow, how does vacuuming the floor change the mood of people? But it does. It just feels cleaner. It feels nicer. It feels like the house is operating well. Now, I basically paid $200 for this thing. I got to pay a little bit of electricity. I got to empty the filter thing every day. But outside of that, it actually means that I buy back a small amount of time. I don't have to vacuum my house anymore. Now, do I love vacuuming? Not really, no. Do I like having a clean house? Definitely. Does my wife like having a clean house? Definitely. Now, there are some downsides. Obviously, it's quite noisy. It's like, oh man. But if I'm not in the house, no one else is in the house, and this thing just runs around, kind of annoys the dog a bit, but the dog will get used to it. But coming home to a clean house means that my wife's happier, I'm happier, my kids are happier, and it's like, oh, okay, this is really cool. So the overall lesson here is that, look, you only have at maximum 24 hours in your day. Everyone's got 24 hours. Now, you do not actually have that on any sustainable basis. You got to sleep, you got to eat, you got to shower, you got to shit, you got to do all these things, you got to perhaps look after kids, do transport, lots and lots of things. Your available time is significantly less than 24 hours. It might be at best 8 hours, maybe 10 if you're pushing hard. And so what you do with that time is critical. Like if you choose to go vacuuming your house, then I don't know how you rate that. Maybe it's a $10 an hour job. Maybe it's a $30 an hour job. Like here in Byron Bay, cleaners are super expensive. Where I think a going rate is around $40 to $50 an hour. But even then, you're like, wow, I'm going to do 20 minutes of vacuuming. But what did it cost you? Like, did you just step away from your business that might have been earning $1,000 an hour? Particularly if you're implementing something that has a long-term benefit, you're building out a new marketing campaign, or you're catching up with a critical client, and that hour that you spent vacuuming, even if you put it at $40, it cost you $1,000 in your business. So you must be very careful and be aware of what is the low value work that you are doing as potentially the highest paid person in your business. And one thing like the robot is implementing systems. Your capacity to delegate low value work, particularly repetitive low value work, will be a critical step to you jumping out of being a solopreneur or out of chaos and into a business that actually can grow sustainably? If that's a conversation that interests you, then head over to systemio.dev, enter your name, enter your email, and watch the training that I put together for you there. Thanks so much for tuning in. Look forward to seeing you on tomorrow's episode as we continue to explore the power that comes from having the capacity to delegate and free up your time so that you can work on your highest value work. See you then.